Okay, I'll see you back in 2 weeks' time after my holiday.
Yeah, what happened? It's your replacement.
This could be your biggest fear, that foreigners are here to take your job. But the reality is, given our low fertility rate, Singapore needs to attract immigrants to sustain our population, according to a report released by the Institute of Policy Studies. If not, the worst-case scenario is this. Without new PRs and new citizens, and with fertility rate remaining at 1.24, the support ratio of working adults to an elderly person aged 65 and above will plummet from 7.7 in 2010 to 1.7 in 2050. And our population will start to shrink from 2020 as number of deaths exceed number of births. This scenario is one among several presented in a study of Singapore's projected population in 2050 by Dr. Yap Mui Teng, a senior research fellow at the Institute of Policy Studies. The findings emphasize Singapore's need to attract foreigners to offset its aging population and low birth rates. Our current population is 5.2 million, with 25% foreigners, and our total fertility rate stands at 1.24 births per woman, below the ideal replacement rate of 2.
2010, about 10%, less than 10% of the population aged 65 and over. By 2050, it will be about one-third. The proportion of people in the working ages will decline, as will the young, which is defined as the 0 to 14 age. So by 2050, about half of us will be 55 and older.
According to Dr. Yap, if we close our doors to new citizens and PRs but push fertility rate up from 1.24 to 1.85, we'll have 1.9 working adults supporting an elderly person in 2050. But if we open our doors and accept 30,000 new citizens and PRs per year, while maintaining the fertility rate, we can increase the ratio of working adults to elderly in 2050 to 2.7. Taking in more immigrants will also help to alleviate problems of a dwindling workforce due to aging population. Assuming that our fertility rate remains at 1.24 and we have 30,000 new citizens or PRs per year, the report painted 3 scenarios of how we can grow our workforce by pulling in foreigners. First, if we maintain the proportion of foreigners at the current 25%. Second, if it drops to 20%. And third, if it increases to 33%, which will push Singapore's total population up from the current 5.2 million to 7.3 million in 2050. However, some at the roundtable panel questioned the certain assumptions made by Dr. Yap's research. Ambassador-at-Large Tommy Cole, for example, noted that she assumes working adults are aged 15 to only 64, which is unrealistic considering that retirement age has gone up.
You are 65, you go from being a contributing member of society, an asset, to becoming a liability. And I think we need to revisit this assumption. I pointed out recently in an article in the Straits Times that my tailor, my dentist are both 80 years old, and my optician is 83 years old. People are living longer in Singapore. They have good health, they enjoy good health, and they want to continue to work.
He added that many elderly people these days have enough savings and do not need to rely financially on their children. Another in the roundtable panel asked if there's a need to grow our labour force at all.
The difference between labour force growth and hence total potential growth over this multi-decade period between Muiteri's most restrictive labour force scenario and the most liberal is the difference in labour force growth between 0.3 and 0.9%, am I right? And that's a huge 0.6% GDP growth difference. And this is the benefit that we're getting from GDP over that period, versus a 1.1 million difference in final population. So straight off, the economic cost benefit to me is a no-brainer. Why do you want an extra 0.6% of growth for a final population that is going to strain severely the environment, right?
For more on population projections and what economists think is Singapore's optimum population, check out our next clip.